Now I've got the engineer and I've seen the radar dome and he's on shift command to capture the radar, then the silo. And I've placed base defences and a forward war factory. Now my opponent's screening with his tanks and firing with these V2s. That's very nice.
Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game and we're on Jungle Boogie map. I have used this map before in a post because I specifically remember saying the name of this map. And it's a distinctive name, so I'm sure I remember correctly. I've used it in a post before. It was just a little while back, that's all. But I'm using Russia for this game and my opponent's using Russia as well. And I remember playing against this opponent from a long time ago. Although I've had a couple of recent games against them. This map, I really like the way it looks, the trees, the terrain. It's really well made, this map. I like it. It's like really nicely made. It looks good. It looks natural, and it's like it is a very natural sort of landscape, this map, and it's you know, it has an effect on the gameplay. It's you know, it's a good map the way they've done this. Like, there's some nice terrain features, like the way the ore is and access to it, and some of these places are very defendable. You could protect this very well if your opponent's units tried to get across. But am I hunting? There we go, I am hunting my enemy's engineer, but he's captured that, and I'm not close enough to pick him off. So he's lucky there. He's got his engineer out of there. I was not paying attention. That's not good. It's not like me. I'd normally catch them out. One or two maybe. But my opponent sent rifles to check out what's going on. So there's my engineer. I haven't got the first capture here yet. Is there there's my closest one. So I've got the first oil derrick. I guess I've gone for that as the closest. Now my opponent hasn't there. Excuse me. Now that's a safe capture provided it's early on in the game, but it's still at that distance you want to escort them anyway. And my opponent's sending some units, look, to the centre of the map. He's got a flak truck, so I've got my APC now. And that's a flamethrower soldier, the engineer, and he's got rocket soldiers. I mean, you'll need them by now. It's 2.5 minutes into the game, but look, he's taking some shots. I can't see the flak truck at that distance, look. It's too far away, so I need the vehicle in front so my troops can shoot at it. But they're very nippy, they can escape flak trucks. It's just its gun isn't effective at all against the armour of an APC. Any heavy armour and you know, your flak truck it won't do any damage really. It'd take it ages to kill that. So my opponent hasn't gone for this oil derrick. It's possible that he doesn't know about it, that he hasn't noticed it. It's possible. His flak truck's harassing. But he's left these units down here. They're just idle. So, and I've taken that flak truck out. Now these guys, there's a flamethrower and a rocket, 2 rocket soldiers in there. So it's an expensive unit of troops just to leave lying around like that. They got a few shots off, quite nice. And the engineer's getting away. I didn't catch him. So yeah, there's some my rifle scouts moving out. I don't know this map very well, so I'm placing you know, plenty of rifle guards. Excuse me. There's even on my own ore patches, because obviously nowadays I'm wary of players using APCs to drop rocket soldiers off and your main ore patches early in the game, and they can take out an ore truck or two quite quickly. So I just place a couple of riflemen nearby, you know, just to give me warning, and so I've got something on site to target the rocket soldiers. Now, obviously, a good player will pick off a couple of riflemen with the APC before they can kill many rocket soldiers, but it's something. It buys you time and gives you warning. But yeah, my opponent's got another flak truck and he's building up units here, but let's see, he's got a few grand cash. I'm spending mine. It's early in the game, so I'm spending every penny I can just to build up a decent force. And it's possible, yes, I've noticed that he's got structures here, look. I've spotted them with that rifle guard. You see, it's essential, especially if you're not so used to a map and you haven't played on it many times. It's even more important to place your rifle guards where you need them. And so it tracks the enemy's expansion progress, look. So I still have my APC on the front lines because I've only got a couple of heavy tanks, so unless I set up a grenadier drop, then my APC tends to... look, there's an enemy rifle guard has told him where I've expanded to. But my opponent just isn't building up units. He's got heavy tanks, but look, and he's got a bit of cash. He's just not building them up quickly. I've got double the army value. And I'm moving south with this MCV. See, there's riflemen escorting it, just to be on the safe side, although I've seen no enemy contact that's of any real threat. My opponent's moving north. So yeah, I'm gathering a force here. I've mined out most of the things at most of the ore at my home base. And this guy, yeah, this ore truck's moving down, so I have got some eco transfer ordered. Although I'm still mining here, look. That's a double mine patch. Now this is idle. I need to be moving. I am getting the tanks up front. My opponent's expanded as well as I have. And here we are. I'm fortifying this place up here while I gather strength down on this side of the map at the bottom. But I am. You have to defend important locations, and a player could. You see this group here, with these tanks, they could do a lot of damage quickly if I'm not prepared. You know, there's 5 heavy tanks there. You know, I'm not. There you go. Now I'm attacking, and he's set up a Tesla coil, but it's put him into low power. And let's see what the enemy does when he notices this attack. And my APC has got my engineer inside, I'm thinking. Yes, it has. That's why he's hanging about. And I've got a base push with my units and a barracks on site. Now, I've overrun the ore refinery, but I'm not destroying it. And I've noticed my opponent's got a silo. Now, I haven't got a radar dome yet, so I don't have thieves, but I'm capturing this refinery still. It's something I do even before I get thieves. I try and start capturing the enemy's refineries, because it means I've got a free refinery I can use to mine with. And I've spotted this silo, which is actually important. Now, I'm attacking here, and my opponent's got plenty of tanks, but there's not enough infantry. He's made a big mistake there. And I've got my MCV, there's my engineer. And he's got the silo, but I'm not going to capture it. It's important, the silo. Now, I've got the engineer, and I've seen the radar dome, and he's on shift command to capture the radar, then the silo. And I've placed base defences and a forward war factory. Now, my opponent's screening with his tanks and firing with these V2s. That's very nice. That's very nice indeed. But I'm capturing this. And now I've got it, I can train thieves. So, on shift command, he's moving. I've overrun the enemy's resistance. I'm moving here, and I'm capturing the silo, but I don't want to capture it fully. Now, I've got access to refineries, but this, when I noticed this silo, I wanted to demonstrate it. There's a thief, look. And he's moving in. Yeah, I'm taking out the last of the enemy's defences and ore mining operation. Yeah, got the reset on the capture. Now, my opponent has got nearly 8 grand, and you see, I can hold this so he can't sell it, and you can infiltrate and steal half their money using a silo. You see, now he's only got 3,900. And he's got 4. I've taken it. Now he's got 1,900. And I just captured it before I took the last one, but I've now got 7 grand. So you can use a silo. If your opponent builds a silo, capture it, and it's not likely that they defend it particularly aggressively, but hold it with an engineer and do the chokehold just like you would on a refinery. And I lost my engineer to a flame tower there, but I've got thieves and it's no problem. It doesn't matter. My opponent's got assets here. There's nothing threatening my base, although I do have a few units hanging about. You see some guards. I get some warning of attack, and if a lone engineer or anything tried messing with me, these would deal with it. My opponent does have air units, and once this Tesla coil started striking my tanks with lightning bolts, then I thought, well, that's a prompt to continue. Now, I've got my APC there, but the engineer's not in it. I did lose the original one, and you see all this is still intact. Well, I'm probably going to steal it. And I'm just wiping out the last lot, the last resistance. Now, I'm built up plenty of tanks because I've got a forward war factory. And the fact that my opponent didn't have enough infantry to kill my tanks off, you see he's selling up, that's the end of that. There you go. And it's only this that's left, and I was going to infiltrate, but he's sold up. Resisting in the best way you can. Now I've got a capture there, he can't sell it, but it's the last structure, it's over. So I'll go through the graphs and charts for this game. There's the army graph, look, yeah, my opponent fell behind. Everything was right, he expanded right, he, you know, set up expansions where he needed to and that. It's just he didn't have any army, no army mass for some reason. There's the earnings graph. Look, he did fine for earnings. It's just once the game developed, he was struggling, but, you know, he did expand okay, so that's why he's got these peaks here. You know, he's doing okay for earnings. And there's my finishing army. It's a load of heavy tanks. It's like a tank army. Combat. At this point, it's not quite over, but I've got... why isn't it over? Oh, yeah, there's a small expansion down here with these troops that are still idle, so, you know. But as it is, I've got a 31,000 value army. My opponent's lost 15 structures. I've lost 1. My opponent's killed 140 units. I killed 93, so I've lost more than I killed, but I had a lot more infantry, so that makes sense. My opponent's killed 26,000 credits worth of my units. I killed 43,000 credits worth of my opponent's units. Support powers are in effect because I've got an airfield built, so I'm building my... counting down on the support powers for paratroops and spy plane. Still producing, I'm building another war factory. Can never have enough tanks. I've got 7 ore trucks, still hung on to a couple of oil derricks. My opponent earned 65 grand, I earned 94 grand. We're both spent up. As the basics, my opponent was at 23 actions per minute, I was at 26. And there's your scores and that. I'm going to add a second replay onto this one. The main point of this was showing what you can do with silos if your opponent leaves the silo vulnerable. You can infiltrate with a spy or a thief and steal half their money if they've got a silo. And there might not be as like most of the best players that you would want to use advanced tactics on. They don't build silos anyway. But there you go. It's a little quirky tactic for you. If you do get anyone does build a silo, or if there's a map where there's a neutral silo and your opponent is unfortunate enough to capture it, then you can take advantage of that, and they might not be aware of it. And my opponent's left here, and I've got aircraft, look, and there's my spy plane, and he's actually moved down with the construction yard. He's still building, he's not giving up, so respect to him for that. I can't, you know, take that away from him, but he is doomed with the sheer amount of assets I've got. Let's just check on my army value now. It's a 40 grand army value. So let's just finish this one. I'm looking for him. Look, trying to find him. And there we are. He's still trying to get away. Look, he's not given up. So there you go. There's that one. I'm going to add another replay, as I was just going to say, to this replay, to this post. So just hang fire one sec. And we have this one. It should be a decent enough game, and it's on one of the map competition maps. This is a 1v1 multiplayer game on Greener Pastures, and it's the balance iteration 3.5, so it's a new version. And I'm using Russia, my opponent's using Germany for this one. On this map, it's a good map, but these oils are basically, you've got these 3 in the center, 2 oils in the center with the hospital in the very center, and then there's an oil derrick in each corner here, each of these corners. Now look, we've clashed in the middle, and these were my first, like, 4 rifles to hunt for the enemy engineer. Now his engineer's back there, and my rifles are having to converge because he's got a presence, you know, up front. But if he sends rifles like that, you see, he's hunting for my engineer, trying to go around the sides, so I've got to watch it. And I knew to, look, I knew about that. I knew to watch this guy. I know he's on the ball, he's a good player. And his guy won just. And now he's capturing the hospital. If I let him capture at that, he gets a nice advantage. And my engineer's looking vulnerable. His engineer's backed off, he bottled it. And I'm chasing off his engineer and 2 medics, so he's going back to capture his oil derrick. So I did win that initial engagement. But I am aware that I'm in a very, like, vulnerable position. So this isn't much. He could soon build up, what, you know, 8, 9 infantry, riflemen, that's all I've got. So he's got his engineer covered, plus he's actually got 2 medics, I think, that I probably won't be aware of. But then again, I might have heard them healing his units. It's a giveaway. You can, even when they're in the shroud off screen, you can't see them. You can hear the medics or a mechanic fixing things or healing infantry. You hear the sound they make. Just like when Tanya's trained, you can hear her laugh. Well, it's the same. You can hear medics healing. They may have to be fairly close to where your view range is, but you get the sign of them healing. It's like a sound. And they'll be able to see my engineer capturing this. Will they get to him? They'll have to hurry if they're going to try. No way, I've got it. And there you go. Now, there's rocket soldiers. Look, 3 rocket soldiers going over there to escort the engineer. That's weird. That's a mistake. And I've got the view range of the oil derrick. That's why I'm hanging around here. But my engineer's making his way back. Yeah, a couple of riflemen could have destroyed all these 4 guys, an engineer and 3 rocket soldiers. 2 rifles would do the job. Bit of a shame, that. Now we've got our scout vehicles. My opponent has got his ranger in range. Now that means his rifleman can shoot, and he's picking off troops. All this time, look, I'm a big disadvantage. I can't even fire back. Now here's my scout vehicle. I can attack. Shoot him, the rocket soldier. Yeah, got rid of that. My opponent's ready to place his service depot. I'm no way near. Must have been distracted. Yeah, I'm placing rifle guards, look. There you go. And there's still 3 rocket soldiers up there. I should maybe have attacked now and taken out a power plant or 2. A second APC with a grenadier drop would be real nice, just to finish them off. Launch an attack with this to distract them. Grenadier drop about here, take out these 2 power plants and then his service depot if he lets me. Now he's got a medium tank. There are no rocket soldiers with this group, look. But I am wary of that medium tank shooting my... Oh look, my APC. It's in very low health. And now I can't see his troops, provided he keeps them back. Yeah, he's got tanks. I've lost this, look. I should have moved back to the oil derrick's view range when I had more time. You see, when I turn round and attack, they're just shooting a tank while these rifles will kill them, so I lost that group. So that's turned the advantage against me. My opponent's got the advantage now. He's got 6 grand army value to my 4.5, and I would have had an advantage. He's attacking the hospital. He's allies, so he's got a medic. It's not as important, but he's capturing this oil derrick with his engineer. And I've repaired my APC. But he's got medium tanks, and he's repairing this one. Now, my opponent's moving out with his expansion MCV there. And because my service depot was delayed, I'm assuming my MCV will be. Let's look at the early army values now. 7,000 to me, 9,000 to my opponent. Not good. That's 36900 that are out of the engagement though. Now I'm moving forward, protecting my MCV. Yeah, there's my first expansion. I should moved out straight away to here. What am I actually producing? Another refinery, yeah. This MCV I think should have stayed here, and my home base moved here. MCV should have moved here, so to set up a second expansion close to my base. But I wanted to just go this way, get a quick refinery set up, and thought that I could come to that when I needed to, and that it's close, you know, and I should be able to. But my opponent, it looks like he's moving forward with a decent army here. I've got 13,000 army value. My opponent's got 17,000 army value. And I'm bringing everything. Now I've seen this attack, I'm ordering everything to... and I've set up my construction yard again. I'm losing power. I'm not in low power mode though. And look, he's falling back. He's got a lot of rocket soldiers there. There's my APC. There's no one in it. And look, this army here, and I'm still ordering more units out. These, at minimum, should have been left back here and order my primary production here and my tanks. That's, but I was just getting too carried away. And you see here, I haven't attacked yet. I'm getting my units in position. And here we go. There are no... I've got my APC and that's it. No other vehicles up front. He needs to get out of the way. Set it up. Barracks. That's good. Now, here, I'm being hit and I don't know it. I'm still calling units out. And look, I've lost my construction yard. And I don't even know it yet. I've got my attention all here. Probably quite happy with myself for overrunning him. And seeing this making an escape. I'm probably fairly happy. Now, they are idle, but, you know, any moment he can go back to it. He knows I've got nothing there to stop him. And he's bringing out artillery, and I'm moving forward with this attack. I want rid of that artillery. Let's see what these guys are up to. Yeah, War Factory is gone. Power and... yeah, he's going for power. Barracks. And I'm probably becoming aware about now. Probably. Yes, look, the units are running away. So my production and my army values dropped to 3 grand in that during that attack. And I'm realised now that I've blown it on both sides of the map when I had the advantage. And let's see, production. I'm trying to now build a war factory at extremely low power. At this point, I'm surprised at myself at how I could be so incompetent as to let this army just completely wipe me out. I'm just like, what? And I've lost units attempting to capture. Look, all sorts of stuff. But I left that tank there, and this tank. Yeah, I left that tank on an eco raid. And look, they've killed 3 more ore trucks. But there's nowhere to mine anyway. Look, I'm losing, you see, I'm still losing units and engineers and stuff. Now, I've got my war factory, but it's too late. Let's check on my cash. I've got 11 grand, though, because of the low power means that I can't spend it. And what a waste. I could do with a 10 grand army now. That would be nice. And I've just lost that tank. And there you go. This is my army. 1,900, because I've got an APC now. So they're hitting the last of my economy. My income is being supplied by these 3, and that's being cut off. I do have an oil derrick, but that's not going to do much. And I'm trying to engage the tanks ahead of the troops. And obviously, look, I've got to rely on APCs, but I haven't got many. I've got my service depot, look, an APC up front, another APC up front. Oh, look. All gone. It's a fair effort, but he's backing off for some reason. I don't know why. He's not overcommitting, that's why he's attacking from this side. That's obviously the right thing to do, because he can just bring them back as soon as I move across. Now this is trying to escape using the alt move, and he's retreating behind a base defense and some units. It's all I can do, you know, it's... and the enemy catches it. And this is a futile effort anyway at this point. Very futile. I've been crushed because I left, you know, let them destroy my base. But there you go. Let this sort of be a lesson to you. Don't get carried away, because it was me winning here in this engagement that made me lose the game. I just wasn't paying attention to my base, and I know better than to call every unit in and keep doing it. I do know better than that. I was just, it was an off day. That's what it was. I didn't play this game today. It was an off day. That's right. I specifically remember it was, and clearly remember thinking that. Although I offer no excuses. Right, so I'll go through the graphs and charts. Look at that. It was, at least that's a sign of a decent battle. And I've called, yeah, it's been called. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've said. Messed that up. Well played. My opponent responded with GG. And there's the earnings. You see, I had some nice earnings towards the end. I just blew it. And my opponent's finishing army is a good one. He's got a good, strong force left. And I was trying to use some engineers and APCs, look, with engineers, but I had no hope of capturing anything. He's got it all well locked down. So that was also a futile effort, but it was just a bit of, you know, there's no harm in a bit of practice at captures and things, especially when your opponent's in such a strong position. There's no harm in that. Yeah, I called it anyway, he knows it's over. But yeah, there are some engineers and running around, and one is in an APC. Combat chart. My opponent killed 221 of my units. I killed 138 of theirs. I lost 20 structures. My opponent lost 8. I destroyed 38,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 62,000 credits worth of mine. And at this point, they're just about to finish the last of my assets. I don't... Oh yeah, it was the engineers I was messing about with. That's why I'm still playing. But yeah, he's got a 26 grand army. It's over now. I've called it. So yeah, it's 20 structures I lost, 8, and there we go, there's the kills and all that. 38,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets I destroyed at the finish, finally, against 64, like I say. So yeah, and he did at the end, he's got a 26,000 value army, but he's not using any support powers at this point, but he did have a radar dome for quite a long time. He used some artillery at one point, and he's still building away, helicopters and that. And my opponent's only got 5 ore trucks, so I must have done some damage down there. And he's hung on to 2 oil derricks, the top corner one and this one that he took back after I captured it. So yeah, it was a bit of a throw, this one. I blew it, basically, is the bottom line. I earned 76 grand, my opponent earned 85. I've got 8,000 cash left and my opponent's got 4 grand. It's just, you know, I could have done with converting that into units. It's just the combination of low power and having no structures to build with leads to a bit of cash building up. But, you know, you can soon spend 8 grand as well. I was at 30 actions per minute. My opponent was at 32. And there's your scores, 385 to 660. And there's that for you, those 2 games. If you enjoyed what you saw, give us a sub and a like. And take good care of yourselves. And until next time, goodbye. Thank you.
Battle control terminated.